Hello there, everyone. You know who I am, ETTemplar, Supreme Misfit Professional Dipshit, and a special thank you to viewers and communities like you, and special thank you to the fleet captains who keep this channel funded and sane. So, of course, as you see by the thumbnail and title, Joe Biden has one final fuck you in his final 63 days remaining in office. So let's jump right in. We'll have our robo slut here read us the news.
Target locations deeper inside Russia.
Oops.
President Joe Biden has lifted restrictions on Ukraine's use of U.S. weapons to target locations deeper inside Russia. This decision, which Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has long advocated for, could significantly impact the momentum of the conflict. The move,
Not really. Not exactly. But that's what he thinks.
Comes ahead of the G20 summit in Rio de Janeiro, where Biden will meet other world leaders, including China's President Xi Jinping. Russia's Vladimir Putin will not attend due to an arrest warrant issued by the International Criminal Court, but the war in Ukraine is expected to dominate discussions. Biden's decision allows Ukraine to utilize long-range Army tactical missile systems, ATACMS, against Russian targets, a step the U.S. had previously hesitated to take due to concerns about escalating the conflict.
Yes, not anymore because he's got 63 days. Now, why would Biden do this now? Because Biden's hoping that this escalates the conflict. Biden's hoping that something happens domestically here so they can suspend elections like what they did in Ukraine with Vladimir Zelensky. So they can suspend the elections, they can halt Trump from being president. So in his final 63 days, if that doesn't work, it might as well lead us to a World War III. So that's how petty Joe Biden, his cabinet staff is, and these liberals are. They're allowing this to happen in the final 63 days and hoping that some fuck shit cooks off, that they could suspend the transfer of power, which you and I both know that they would do. Or they're just hoping for a straight out World War III before he becomes president. They're that fucking petty politically. So that's the only reason why they would change their mind now. And the final 63, was it 63 days? Yeah, it's 63 days, 11 hours, and 44 minutes, and 41 seconds. But, anyways.
Reported trigger for this policy shift is North Korea's involvement alongside Russian forces,
Which wouldn't be happening if Ukraine, along with Western-backed mercenaries, didn't invade into Russian territory in Kursk.
The decision places pressure on other allies, such as the UK, to permit Ukraine to use their advanced weapons like Storm Shadow missiles. Attention now turns to how other nations, including the UK, will respond to this development.
And not only that, we'll also have Russia. How do you think Russia's going to react if Ukraine starts hitting targets further in Russia or hits Moscow, God forbid? You don't think Russia is going to respond with a heavy-handed response? Of course. But I find this rather amusing that in his last 63 days in office that he would okay this. Again, this is just them. Essentially, this is Joe Biden shitting on the Oval Office coffee table on his way out. And I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Biden clogs all the toilets in the White House on the way out, or shits in the desk at the Oval Office. So that's Joe Biden's final fuck you and farewell gift to the Trump administration and us. And they're banking. This also ties into the Alex Jones stuff, where they haven't silenced Alex Jones. They tried to do this fucked up secret shadow auction, but the judge struck it down. And now Elon Musk has his lawyers assisting and helping Alex Jones, which this might also imply that allegedly, I think Elon Musk might buy InfoWars or put in a bid at least for InfoWars. So the deep state has failed to get Trump on additional charges with felonies, the lawfare. They've tried to kill him, two times? And that's not working. So now their last goose egg and hope is that they can allow long-range missiles to hit Russia in hopes that Russia causes something domestically to happen so they can suspend the elections and keep their people in power just like they did with Vladimir Zelensky. And with that, they can also ban churches or certain religious groups like Vladimir Zelensky. So this is their last attempt, ditch effort, and they're so petty that they're going to bring the world to the brink of World War III just to defy Trump from getting in and to defy the choice of the United States people, your choice in president. So uh, that's what they're banking on. They're hoping on thermonuclear war out of spite for Donald Trump and out of spite for you. These people are absolutely evil, insane. And with that, with how this election stuff is going, leftists, Marxists, in general, are going to be more and more violent and unhinged the sooner we get closer to inauguration day for Trump. So, my advice to you guys and the people on the right is head on a swivel. Don't get drunk on happiness and victory, because these people are nuts. We've already seen on TikTok where they're putting out literal recipes for poison for these women to poison their Trump supporting husbands, and not only that, they're advocating for the poisoning of men through hormones to lower their motility and uh, fertility of their semen. They're advocating that they poison their husbands, wives, and significant others with this chemical concoction that messes with the human male hormones. So these people are unhinged, and they're taking it this far just out of spite. And again, the sooner we get to Trump's inauguration, the crazier and crazier these people are getting. And I can't believe Biden. I don't think this is. Well, he's the president, so yeah, Biden's essentially selling us upriver out of spite because their people lost, because they fucked up the election. They couldn't put forward an interesting candidate that had good ideas. And at the end of the day, most Americans voted for Trump because they would have more money at the end of the day. There's not going to be an increase in tax. There's going to be no tax on tips. And he just has general better plans. He could put forward better ideas than Kamala's whorish laughter and Kamala's just blatant lies. And so we'll have to see. We got, 63 days to see what happens. But Zelensky is definitely going to do something stupid. And I hope Vladimir Putin doesn't. Vladimir Putin's got to defend his country and people, so he's going to react accordingly. And I just hope that reacting accordingly isn't through something that involves the splitting of the atom or the fission of the atom in Kiev. But I'm thinking Vladimir Putin. I think he'll be reserved, but it all depends on how stupid Vladimir Zelensky is, and we'll have to wait and see. Anyways, wasted enough of your time. Thanks for watching. See you next time. God bless. Stay happy. Stay healthy. Pray for the president. Pray for Alex Jones. Head on a swivel. Don't get too drunk and comfortable on his victory because he hasn't been inaugurated yet. We have 63 long fucking days to see what kind of horse shit comes down the turnpike. And that's that. See you next time. Have a good one. So, as a bonus to hit that 10-minute mark, here's some other news. The Republican Party retained control of the House and Senate, completing the trifecta that gives them considerable influence over legislative priorities. This may lead to changes in federal programs, economic politics, and approaches to foreign aid. So that's also why Biden has also allowed Ukraine this added range with longer range cruise missiles and ballistic missiles. So the Biden administration, before transitioning, is focusing on passing critical funding for Ukraine and advancing semiconductor manufacturing initiatives under the CHIPS Act. Meanwhile, President Biden's recent participation in the global summit is overshadowed by questions about the U.S. geopolitical direction under Trump, and hopefully Trump undoes all that. And so not only is he allowing Ukraine to hit targets deep in Russia, escalating the war, which could potentially lead to World War III, but he's also wants to pass more critical funding for Vladimir Zelensky in Ukraine and his regime to continue being a corrupt Western puppet dictator, essentially what it is. And wow. Uh, Again, to preference what I said earlier, this is essentially Joe Biden just shitting in the Oval Office desk drawer, the coffee table. He's going to clog the toilets on the way out. And they're sore losers. And they know with the Republican controlled presidency, House, and Senate, they're looking at some deep shit. So they're essentially what the deep state Biden regime is doing is they're throwing the kitchen sink at everybody, Alex Jones, Trump, against people like you who voted for Trump, the majority of the American people. And they're even banking on fucking starting World War III out of spite. And that's one thing I find unbelievable. But anyways, there's a bonus content there. See you next time. Have a good one.